Is the new Audi Q5e worth the hype? We're showcasing the 2025 Audi Q5 Premium 55 TFSI E-Quattro S-tronic in glacier white over gray interior. You're getting over 20 miles full electric range. Charging time is around 3 hours on a level 2, and you're receiving 13 horsepower more than an SQ5 with 58 mpges combined. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and we're gonna see if it's worth the hype by comparing this against the competition. We're gonna go over some pros and cons and the problem that I have with the Q5e. Starting in the front, you can get matrix LED headlights in daytime runnings. Audi's single frame grille, you can add the black optic package, which will blacken out the rings and the aesthetics on the exterior, so it makes it look a little bit more aggressive, and I would tick the box to that. Standard S-line trim, which makes it look a little bit more sporty on the exterior. Satin chrome that's going to go around the grille and the lower air pocket. The front will get the refresh for 2025. That's going to be later on for North America. House underneath the hood is one of the problems that I have, because when you go into an SQ5, you're paying maybe 5-10 grand more, and you're losing 13 horsepower opposed to this, but you're getting the same torque at 369 pound-feet. We have the 2.0 liter TFSI 4-cylinder with the PHEV. That's a 17.9 battery capacity, producing 362 horsepower. Audi is quoting a 0 to 60 at 5 seconds flat, which is going to be slower than BMW and Mercedes, but those vehicles are going to be around 10 grand more than this. And comparing it against Lexus, this is going to be faster with 19-inch wheels. It's a 5 double spoke setup. You can get a 20-inch wheel, and the black optic package will come with that standard. Achieving 26 mpgs for just the gas variant paired to a 7-speed Steptronic automatic transmission. You have 3 different trims to choose from, 8 different colors, and 2 different wheel designs. But for me, it's a con because almost every single color you pick, you have to pay a premium for. And I know you're probably wondering in the comments what happened, because 2025 we're getting a refresh. It's coming to North America, but because of the tariffs and because of the way Audi does things, it's taking a little bit longer. So we should get it in the next few months, which will change out the whole front design, the wheel design, and even the side profile. It's going to look a little bit more sporty, but if you're looking to capture a deal, this is going to be the least in class. And because this is not the refresh, this is a carryover variant, is it worth getting this over the competition? Because you're getting 23 all-electric range, 58 mpges combined. You're saving around 10 grand going against anybody in its competition, and you're getting more performance here than you would on the SQ5. I mean, that's enough reasons for me to say it's worth the hype. LED taillights, the rear will get refreshed for 2025 later on for North America, just like the front. The lower, fake exhaust. Not a huge fan of that. Audi says that they are going to stop doing that, and I'm hoping that will be the case. Front and rear parking sensors with the reverse camera, the Audi O-rings, and the satin aluminum will get blacked out when you take the box to the black optic package. Power liftgate going into 25.6 cubic feet with a sunroof. Without it, it's going to be 25.9 cubic feet. You have a little storage net here and here with a 12-volt. LED interior lights, bag holders, the privacy cover, and Audi does it right. You just pull the tabs right here to split fold the rear bench at a 60-40 split, and that will maximize the cargo to 53.5 cubic feet with a sunroof, and without a sunroof, 54.1 cubic feet. Normally, I wouldn't say we need to go inside to fire it up, but because this has more power than the SQ5, we need to hear that exhaust note. The key fob to the Q5e. 12-way power seat adjustment for the front. Heated front seats is standard. We have these sports seats, and this contrast and the piping in the gray is an upgraded leather seating surfaces, manual cushion extensions. When you go Premium Plus, you get the Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system. Audi virtual cockpit, and it will also include the pano moonroof, which you have to pay extra when you are not on the Premium Plus because this is the premium trim. Leg space for the passenger is not too bad. You can also adjust these seats, and it does have the manual cushion extensions. It is a driver focused setup, and the 2025 will have two different variants, so you'll already notice that this is going to have the carryover interior and exterior. Let's fire it up. 10.1 MMI touchscreen up top. Navigation, you have to go up the tier. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse. You'll have a reverse camera. You'll have the trajectory on the front and the rear, but a con to me all the time is this should cover up the whole screen. I don't really need this here. Maybe put it in the gauge cluster. Try climate control settings, and you'll have a lot of physical buttons going here opposed to the new trim because it's going to have a new dashboard layout. You have a little storage tray, another one, another storage area here to turn on and off the sound system, 12-volt USB. This can adjust up and opens up all the way. You can put your cell phone with a USB-C. This will slide back and forward so you can close the cup holders. 3-spoke steering wheel, it's heated multi-function, the paddle shifts, and the gauge cluster has the Audi virtual cockpit. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can go through an array of different content for the driver. If you get the navigation, you can also do that. Wood inlays is going to be through the center with the Quattro badging. Leg space for the driver and passenger is not an issue, nor is headroom. I'm at 6'3". LED interior lighting, auto dimming rear view mirror, as well as the home link is now on the mirror. Door panel and dashboard configuring together nicely. I just kind of wish it didn't have all this hard materials at the price point it is. I do like the wood that comes into play. One touch up and down for the windows. They're acoustic front windows and front windscreen with a medium-sized storage pocket that goes pretty deep and a little storage here for the driver. For the back seats, this is the opening that you have to fit two more with the cup holders and armrests. Third climate control, USB-C. 12-volt storage net behind both of the front seats. The door is going to be the same materials that's found in the front, just a smaller storage. I don't like this here because that is what's on the front, which would be to lock and unlock the door. Just some of the materials that they could have cleaned it up a little bit more. So leg space, it's carved out for you, so plenty for somebody at 6'3". Headroom, the same thing. The floor, it's not completely flat. You're gonna have to pick your legs up quite a bit. Sliding into the center, the rails are not pushed up enough, so you're gonna be sharing a little bit of feet space, butt, leg, and shoulder space. It's actually not too bad for the size of this vehicle, and the same thing with headroom, and you can also recline these seats back so you can make it a little bit better. But because I'm sitting in the center, headroom isn't actually too much of an issue because of the pano moonroof. Taking this PHEV Q5 out with 362 horsepower, that's 13 horsepower more than the SQ5, and the same torque at 369 pound-feet, up to 8.2 inches of clearance, up to 23 full miles all electric. That is awesome. But it isn't as impressive as Mercedes and BMW, but then the price also is about 10-15 grand less, especially once you start speccing it up. Now, towing does decrease because towing on the Q5 is normally 4,400 pounds. When you go plug-in hybrid, it's at It's going to take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros, I like the MPGs you get. Charging time, 3 hours on a level 2, so 240 volt. It's not bad. It gets the job done. Visibility is good. You have great ground clearance. The seats are comfortable. The manual cushion extensions extend out almost to my kneecap, which is awesome because I'm at 6'3". The back seat, you have a sufficient amount of room, plus tri-climate control and standard S-line trim to make it a little bit more sporty. And when you add features to it, it doesn't necessarily go too crazy in price. They actually go hundreds to maybe $1,000-ish for packages, opposed to other variants that would be more like $2,000–3,000. And the 0 to 60 is quick. I mean, 5 seconds is what Audi is quoting out of this 2-liter 4-cylinder TFSI turbocharged PHEV engine. The road noise filters in quite a bit, so it's going to take me to some cons, and that's got to be the first one. And the fact that we're not getting the full refresh that to me is a huge problem, because if you are shopping for this, you could potentially lose value because you have the carryover opposed to the refresh. And the way they are badging it for 2025, it's going to be 2025. They're not going to do a half, so it won't be 2025.5, and it's not going to be a 2026. I would have rather them done that, but I mean, let me know your thoughts on that. I don't like the center cluster because they got like a mint holder, another little area for some snacks, and then kind of an area that you could put your key fob. There's just too much going on because this used to not be a touchscreen for the MMI, and now it is. So instead of them cleaning it up, they said, you know what, we'll just add a storage. That's not gonna fix the problem. Well, let's rock and roll. Whoa. I mean, I know 369 pound-feet of torque is a lot, but man, you don't expect the push that you're getting with this, considering it doesn't really have an exhaust note that filters in. When you go to BMW and Mercedes, they filter in an exhaust note, so this one stays quiet and it feels more like an electric push instead of actual raw power out of an engine, so it just feels a lot more immense. That's definitely a pro to me because it put a huge smile on my face. That S-tronic 7-speed automatic transmission does its job really well. And I mean, driving it on comfort, or if you're mashing on the gas, you can still coach yourself through the Audi virtual cockpit because it shows you the percentage that you're going with the boost, and it also shows you the charging that you're ultimately getting whenever you're using the regenerative braking or whenever you're just kind of coasting. So I like that they've implemented that, but then going against the competition, BMW, Mercedes by far are going to be better. You're going to be able to tow more, you get more range. It's over double the range for all electric. And with BMW, you do have to go to the larger vehicle because they don't really make something to the size of this. Now, when the engine kicks on, you can hear it, and it does have a little bit of a drone note. Otherwise, you're gonna hear more of that electric. You can put it in full EV, so I like that because it just makes it a little bit more of that day in and day out drive. The suspension is comfortable. It could be a little bit more forgiving, but because we have smaller wheels instead of the 20-inch wheels, it does help. So if you are debating which wheel to go to, I would say go to the smaller one because it's gonna be a little bit more soft on the ride. The seat cushion is good. The back bolstering is as well. I kind of wish it had more power seat adjustment, but it is what it is for this price, and they're actually still giving discounts on the Q5e. So when you're putting that in perspective, you're not going to get that with BMW and Mercedes, and you're going to be saving a ton, especially with your MPGs when you're using this plug-in hybrid variant. The safety to the vehicle is also pretty good because you have your frontal collision, which will also slow down for you if somebody cuts in front of you, or if you neglect to pay attention, you're on your phone. You have the cyclist pedestrian detection, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot monitoring with steering assist and adaptive cruise control. When you go Audi, safety's on their mind. They also implement a toll box, so you don't have to pay extra money. You would just pay it through the Audi app, and that way you can go through the tolls and you're taken care of there. So when you're looking at that everyday use, Audi does go a little bit further, but is it worth the hype for the price and the value? Yes. The big problem that I have with it is that they have two variants for 2025, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video. Merchandise, website, TikTok, Instagram, live stream, membership. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank our friends here at Crown Audi